Welcome, worker bees. My name is Blake. This is my co-host Buzz. We're a brand new channel, so we appreciate any support. Please feel free to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell to receive notifications for future videos with artists, entrepreneurs, and professionals. This is our first episode. I had a little technical difficulty. Don't judge me. You can follow us on all major social media channels, and we appreciate any support on Patreon. All patrons will receive bonus footage and be able to participate in future interviews. Before we get to our conversation with Vinnie, I just wanted to mention this video's sponsor, Wanolo. Wanolo is like the Tinder for temporary work, the Uber for extra income. Click the link below, download the app. Once you pass a quick background check, you'll gain access to all kinds of temporary day jobs, including jobs in fulfillment, delivery, and warehousing. New jobs are added daily. If you use the link below and sign up for Wanolo, you'll earn a bonus $25 once you complete your first job with 5 stars. And now for the first episode of Worker Bees.
As a young little lover, he lost his hype. Raised on the streets, Buzz was barely alive. Addicted to drugs and a life of crime. Lazy and crazy, biding his time. Giving up dope was the first step. Living on hope even when he's upset. From his very first opportunity, Buzz transformed into a worker bee. He loves to work and learn new things. Overcome the obstacles life brings. From dolphin training to exotic dancing. Resume Buzz will make it happen. Armed with his skills and a college degree, he's got essential advice. Hey, yeah, we think you'll agree. Whether you're fired, laid off, or had a hiring freeze, gather round, sit down, time for worker bees. Here to talk to all of his best buds, sharing special knowledge and bee puns. He's the hardest worker bee there ever was. So make a beeline to Resume Buzz. Make a beeline to Resume Buzz. Make a beeline to Resume Buzz.
Cool.
All right, well, my first guest needs absolutely no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. He spent nearly 3 decades touring the world with Less Than Jake, released 8 full albums, countless compilations. He was featured on the soundtracks of 7 TV shows, 7 video games, and 6 motion pictures. He's owned 4 record labels, 3 toy companies, 2 books, 1 music management company, currently owns a cannabis company, a tattoo parlor. My first guest, Vinnie Fiorello from Less Than Jake. Welcome, Vinnie.
Hey, thanks for having me for your first episode.
Yeah, we'll see. What might not be a complete disaster.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, disasters are okay sometimes.
That's right. Well, first, I want to talk to you. I know you're busy sitting around doing nothing during this quarantine. Have you found that since you're not touring with the band anymore, obviously you have a lot more time to focus on family, and have you seen a drastic change in your life since you stopped touring? And
You know what? The biggest change is just being present, right? So I think that for me, being around for the day-to-day every day, that's a huge change, right? So before, if I would be going on tour, I'd be here for, a month and then leave for 3 weeks or 2 weeks and then come home. And there's this huge gap of not being around. And you know what? There's a lot that goes on, with a small person, my mini, right? That goes on in that 2-week time, right? So now I'm just there every day, and I know the ins and outs of what's going on. Before, it would take me, when I would come home, it would take me a few days to kind of catch up and then be able to get into that groove, right? So being home is being present, and that's what it's always been about, right? Like when me and my wife decided that we were only going to have 1 child, right? And that's my current daughter. She's almost 9. She's 8 and going on 9 in September, right? Going on 35 as well, and sometimes. But it woke me up. And at that same time that we were having these conversations, I was also having these very wild sort of like mood swings, right? And I wasn't putting it together that what I really was missing was stability and being there and watching and being a part of the fabric of what a family is, instead of being a spectator. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, I was a spectator of the family, right? Yeah. And I knew that had to change. I had to be present before it was too late. And I kept on telling myself that once, it's funny. I won't say what the band is, but uh, a band that's been around for an extremely long time, punk band. And the bass player said, "Hey, I've had kids and I have a younger kid as well, but I'm just letting you know that once there's a reach an age of whether it's a teenager or whether they start to need you less and they're starting to form on their own.
Yeah.
And so before you get to that point and then try to interject yourself into a situation where they might not need you and they're forming their own identity, maybe you should think about what's ahead. And
Yeah.
and there's some dads and some moms that can Rubik's Cube everything, be happy in their career and be present at home. As things started to go along and I started to get older, my daughter started to get older, and going on 3 decades of being in a band, touring, started to get very messy. So I knew that I had to have a change.
Were you able to, I mean, just start to see the signs of that happening, and you just had to pull the trigger before it got
Yeah,
reach that
because
threshold?
I found myself just being bummed, right? And but being caught in the middle of being bummed.
Mm.
You don't want to be gone, but you also don't want to not be touring,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're in that rock in a hard place is the thing that people say, and I was, right. And for me now though, it gives me time to work on things outside of what Less Than Jake is, and also be a dad that's at home every day and watching my daughter grow.
Thankfully, you weren't, deployed overseas or in prison, for God's sake. But the emotional toll is still the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not trying to make this into an ultra desperate situation where it was this, but I started to collide a little bit with my mental health,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it started to compound as time went on. And I just knew that there had to be a line that I had to draw just to make everybody happy, myself happy, and my family happy.
And not to mention, like I read a quote when I was doing some research for this too. I read of an article. It's probably only a couple of years ago, but you said you wake up every day thinking of music. Music's the last thing you do when you go to bed, and once you start associating those feelings of, I don't want to say regret, but missing your family and not being there consistently, the music kind of would start. I would assume start to lose.
It never lost because music's a passion, right? Mm. What it did was take all of the things that I loved about touring, not about music, because I still every day,
sure,
it's wake up and think of music, and when I go to bed, I'm thinking of music. Mm-hmm. It's not that. It's that it started to take away the things I loved about touring, right? And you're meeting people, and you're seeing things, and you're taking in culture, and you're playing in front of crowds of people, and they're singing back words that I had written, man, and that's a very wild ego stroke. But when you start to kind of those things that you absolutely love, that electric that's in a room, when those things start to tarnish a little bit, you know that's time to go.
Yeah. Have you found it difficult kind of climbing up the totem pole at your household? Or you?
No, I still am the co-driver. I'm all right with that.
I'd be interested to see what your lyrics sound like in a few years if you start writing lyrics again and making music.
We'll see on that actually. So.
all right, I'll take that. Well, now I want to talk about the things that you said you're talking about now that you can focus on outside. The first thing, what about cannabis? Like, what? I know you went into.
You know what? It's not. It's Sailor Diggins is the brand, mm-hmm. right? And it started out as primarily CBD only, right? So very little to no THC level on it, right? And it started being on tour, and my shoulder started to bother me, and just age, being on playing punk rock music for decades, and then being on tour, and then being home, and then just age and just wear, right?
Yeah.
Started to go, I'm starting to feel it here and in my elbows and my wrist. And you can't, I found myself not wanting to go to a doctor and having get prescribed any type of medicine, right? And I already know my personality. My personality is an addictive personality, so I
don't know what that means at all.
Yeah. So for me, I kind of went, let me try to figure out some alternative medicine. And at the same time, Mongo Ranch had approached Les and Jake about doing a strain for Oregon. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And that was, and still is fun to do. But I became friends with Joe, who owns Mongo Ranch. And we started to talk about, I was complaining about my shoulder during a conversation. He goes, have you ever had, or tried CBD on it? And I went, no. He goes, oh, I got to send you. So he sent me some cream, CBD cream, and I started to use it, and I started to feel an immediate change, right? And I went, okay. And then I started to explore a little bit more. And being on tour, it allowed me to kind of sample, in Denver, you would stop and you'd go into some shops, and it was recreational marijuana was legal. So they had the CBD, and it was before a huge CBD wave where you could go into like a gas station and get it now.
I think Walmart gas station has it, man.
Yeah. So for me, I was able to explore different brands and different things, and landed on a few things that really worked. So I had asked Joe, hey, what about, being able to bring something to market that I liked, and to approach people that I like their product, and to it's called white labeling, where you approach someone that's making something already, and you go, I would love to have this, and rebrand it under the umbrella of Sailor Diggins.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And Joe at Mongo Ranch was my Sherpa in that. And it was cool to have. And having a mentor, I'll sidetrack real quick off of that, but having a mentor in anything is super important, right? So if you're thinking about being a teacher, if you're thinking about, starting a business, it's always great to have a mentor. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the same business that you want to get into. In a perfect world it is, but just someone who you could go to and talk it out and have some, and get some sage advice. So I was lucky in my life to have a few of those, Joe being one of them for Sailor Diggins. And it started out, like I said, just strictly as trying to repair myself.
Yeah.
And it went into, hey, maybe we should grab a few things to help other people that are aware of what I do and who I am. And that's a cool thing.
Were you shocked at how fast it worked on the pain?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it also, if you go back to later in touring, when I started to kind of like have a bit of a mood swing and things like that, I found that CBD really leveled me out, and took the anxiety that I was having. It didn't take it away totally, but it filed the rough edges off.
Yeah. It's
without self-medicating.
And I'll bet the tour buses or vans don't have the most comfortable beds. I'm sure you can get some memory foam layer on there or something. Yeah, the CBD for sleep as well. I mean, I have trouble sleeping every night, but the CBDs, I mean, I'm sure I can get high with high THC content, but nothing beats like a CBD candy, right before bed.
I agree. And I found myself, when it comes to cannabis, I can't really, I have to smoke a hybrid. I can't smoke a sativa dominant, and I can't smoke indica dominant. It affects me too much. Like sativa, if it's high sativa, I would get too anxious,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then indica just too stony.
Hmm. What so you said you had started out as just CBD. That's all I was aware of. What are you guys doing now with
Coming soon is the first strain of Sailor Dickens. So
what's it called?
Just Sailor Dickens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fire.
The finest.
Oh, Sailor Dickens finest. Nice. Yeah, got to add the little finest to the label with a nice cursive right.
Yeah. So I know that it was not that long ago harvested.
Uh-huh.
So it's curing. So
nice.
Soon.
It's a couple weeks, few weeks maybe. Yeah.
You know, we'll see how it's going to break down. I did the label for it, so
let me guess, there's a skull on it.
No, there's not at all. No, not this round anyway. When you do the label, that means it's real.
What about so can you tell me, did you have any ideas for Less Than Jake, names of Less Than Jake strains? And if not, like what would you
know what? It was when we first started to talk about it, it's hard to put in because you start to go, oh, we call it Dope Man. And there was a very brief there was a second strain to the Less Than Jake cannabis, and it was called Dope Man, but it was only very limited because of some mishaps, I suppose, in the growing process, right? So there was only a short supply, a short amount of it, a small amount of it, and it was called Dope Man. But then you start to think and start to name things after songs, and I don't know, man. Like I Less Than Jake strain, like just call it the Less Than Jake, and then that's what we landed on instead of trying to get fancy about it. But there was a Dope Man strain. Very briefly.
Did you have any jobs before starting Less Than Jake, like any part-time gigs while you were in college? Or
well, a few actually. Early on in high school, I had quit high school and then came back, and then I got kicked out of high school, second high school. So for me, I went to work with my father, who cleaned rental property, like vacation rental properties. So I went in there with him, and then started to go to community college, and then came up here. But that was my first real job, where you like that like slog of going, oh man, and then you see how dirty people are, and you're just like, this is crazy. But I went from that. When I got up to Gainesville, I put up flyers for clubs, like club night. So I would be out in the middle of the night stapling stuff and repasting stuff. Then I got a job at a place, a gas station, convenience store, and that was I could talk about that for hours, because every day there was some like lunacy that had gone on. Right? So that was for a while. I had one day as a pizza person. I went in and the manager said, hey, you see that over there? And I looked, and it was literally a mountain of mozzarella cheese. He goes, you have to shred all of that. and it's no easy task when you're handling that. And I walked out of there, and cheese in my hair and cheese everywhere. I was like, I'm never going back there. And Chris was like, you even gonna go get your 1 day paycheck? And I was like, no. No.
What was Florida minimum wage at the time?
I don't even know what it was. It was terrible, though. I'd go in there and pick up, $20. But $20 when you were kind of living amongst a few people went a long way.
Actually. Yeah. I'm not getting my paycheck, but here's some mozzarella, man.
Yeah, exactly. We could make a pizza out of all the stuff that I'm taking.
How did you quit? Did you just not show up?
Took the coward's way out.
Yeah, whatever. Sometimes it's not worth it, man.
Yeah, I mean, the guy knew what he was doing. He was just a manager that would haze new people, and some people would take that. I just didn't. I was like, no.
I used to work at a grocery store, and I suffered it too. But we would make the new people go shake the salad dressings to make them look full. And then we'd make him go from department to department, asking for the freezer mop.
Awesome.
So do you have any good quitting stories, or is it like from any of your prior jobs?
You know what? None.
No.
No, because at a certain point, I was working at Gainesville High School, right? Before we started the tour a lot. And the conversation about quitting and with my father, everything was always positive. Hey, this part's ending, this part's beginning, and that's it, right?
Yeah, so you're I mean, pretty much every time, I mean, putting up flyers, that kind of takes that mentality of just going to clubs and saying, hey, do you want me to do this, right? Then it doesn't require like the formal interview process, you know?
No, I've had a few of those, and I find that even like later in life, because I do design work and stuff like that, right? It's just too much talk, right? So, and if someone even like sniffs out that because I make it for design work, I don't say what, like, hey, this is my past. I just go, oh yeah, I could do XYZ for you. A beer label, yeah, I could do that, right?
Yeah.
But if they even sniff about it, you wind up talking way too long, and you talk yourself out of a job, because now you're like, feel like it's friendly, and it just starts to be weird.
Yeah.
So I'm a terrible interviewee when it comes to gigs.
Well, I'll be the judge of that, because I've got some interview questions for you right now. These are very common interview questions, you know, so just so you kind of get the feel of what the rest of us have had to endure.
Let's do it.
How would you describe yourself?
I would describe myself as a hard worker with an attention to detail.
That's a perfect and very common answer. What makes you unique?
What makes me unique would be how I solve problems, which would be kind of separating the issue and then restacking them in the correct way to solve the problem with steps.
So next, what motivates you?
The finished task.
That's perfect answer.
That's a true statement too.
Yeah.
It's anytime that I've ever do something or set, you know, that project, it's the completion that always drives me. It's when it's done, that's the feeling. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, I'm pointing to lawn out there. If it's mowing the lawn or whatever, like it's done, that feeling. Yeah, this is awesome.
Oh, let's do it again. I want that feeling again.
That's why touring was great, right? Like at the end of the show, you're like, we started it, we ended it. Fuck, I feel good now. Right?
Yeah.
It hits all the correct buttons.
Watching all those people walk away happy,
Makes you happy.
Yeah. All right. So, how do you handle stress or conflict?
Stress or conflict. Conflict. If the other person seems rational at the time, we talk it out. I give them my thoughts on it, and they give me their thoughts back, and then we try to find a common ground to stand on.
So you consider yourself a good communicator?
I do consider myself a good communicator with someone who's willing to communicate.
Oh, there you go. See, you're nailing it so far. What's your greatest accomplishment?
That would be about 50 feet diagonal from me, and that would be my daughter.
That was probably too easy for you, huh? A little bit.
Yeah.
What's been the most rewarding experience of your career thus far?
Most rewarding experience was actually leaving the city where we started to play shows and work, and going to another city to go do that same thing, and people showing up and everyone had a good time. I mean, that was a massive victory, because sometimes it's you try to convince yourself that being insulated is the best thing. And it takes a certain amount of courage to do that first step outside of your comfort zone and go somewhere else, or do something else. And the greatest accomplishment is at the time, and now even, is stepping out of that comfort zone and doing it. And that happened to be playing a show.
It was my first time leaving San Diego. I was 19. Just went to Northern California. You know, stayed in California, but it's still really nerve wracking. But I have to say, Hello Rockview was the album that was in my CD player as I was driving away from San Diego.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Let's see what here you go. What do you like the most, and what do you like the least about your last position?
The most was the travel. And the least was the travel.
But next question: for this job, are you willing to travel?
I am, if it's relegated to a certain amount of time per week and not weeks on it.
So 20% of your time spent traveling is okay for you?
Yeah.
All right. What qualities make a good leader?
I think that let's go with it. I think that being able to think on their feet is a good quality. I think that compassion for others, understanding of others. I think that being able to lay out a logical strategy, but also be able to motivate yourself and others to follow that strategy.
Excellent. So what I really like this one. What I've never been asked it in an interview, and I really want to, but what commonly accepted view do you disagree with, and why?
I think that I disagree most that a full-time job is 5 to 7 days a week from 9 to 5, because there's times where a full week and that you can actually successfully finish your tasks and do it right and pay attention and be able to focus 100%. Mm-hmm. There's studies that it's 4 days a week.
Yeah, I think a few politicians are actually pushing that 4-day work week right now. It works in Europe, and I mean,
we'll
mentally. Mine, I have the exact same answer as you, except I haven't had the privilege of having kids or being married. So mine would be the commonly accepted view that you have to get married, have kids, and have a 9 to 5.
It is true. You know, the American dream of what it used to be, mm-hmm. which you have your 2 kids, your house in the suburbs, your wife or husband, and that's what everyone's, mm-hmm. was striving for. And that it is really, really silly now to think about that people put that much pressure on getting married and having a family, and not only that, having this career that you had to go to in the office day after day after day. It's a crazy thought.
I'll never go back to a office cubicle job. Do you have a personal mission statement?
Do. That's it.
Do. It's powerful, simple, valuable. 2 more questions. How do you want to improve yourself in the coming year?
Read more, write more, and talk more.
Well, I'm gonna forego my last question of where do you see yourself in 5 years and talk about your the writing. You have a book coming out this month.
Yes.
What is it on the and I know the title's 619 for June 2019, correct?
You are correct. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not June 19th.
No, it's 619. So it comes out June 24th of this year.
Okay.
Right? Which is my birthday, by the way. That's why I chose it. But last year I started to write a novel, and I got about a third of the way through, and I started to have doubts about how I was writing and the style and the feel and the story. And I decided that in June, every day I was going to write one story a day, one short story a day, and that would be between a page and a page and a half. right? And the reason why, someone asked, well, why a page and a page and a half? And it went back to how I was writing, which was having the soundtrack of different songs sort of playing. And I wanted to be able to have someone read the story in the length of time it took to listen to a long song.
Oh.
So you get through all these songs in about a 4 to 7 minute read through. So, and I was like, I put this time limit on it, and I put one story a day. And for the month of June, I wrote a story a day. And after the end of it, I gave it to a few people, and they went, you know what, this reads like a memoir, and there's a cool feel to it. And it's has a very lyrical bounce to it. So if you like the lyric side of Less Than Jake, it's very in tuned with it, not only in a musical length sense, right? But in the lyrical style sense. There's a lot of alliteration, there's a lot of bounce. And after reading it, and I sat on it, I went, you know what? Before I go back to completing the novel, which I'm about 2/3 through right now, I'm just going to put it out and, let people take a read through the style and hear thoughts and hear what people have to say and read reviews of it. That's what I'm looking for, people to give some response to it, and use it to as a catalyst to finish off the novel.
So when people click on the link below to go buy your book, they'll see a little playlist there. Are those the songs that inspired some of the stories in there?
Yeah. Those are the ones that didn't necessarily inspire it, but they were the soundtrack of it. And those were the songs that I was doing a lot of traveling last summer as well. Charleston, Savannah, through Atlanta, down to South Florida. And just felt good just listening to the songs that I grew up with and new tracks that had become my favorite, and with the family, and just kind of taking it all in, and like kind of old Southern roads and Spanish moss hanging and humidity and all of those things that kind of pushed it together, and it gives it a cool feel, I think.
Awesome. Yeah. I can't wait to read it. Yeah.
It's a quick read, but it's a fun read. So.
Sure. Yeah. So before I ask you to read a little excerpt from the book,
you could edit this.
Well, let's see. Let's see him. Might as well see him.
Hey, Zig. Come here. Come here.
Because he may want to hear this. Hey there, buddy.
It's a Ziggy for Ziggy.
Ziggy, I know.
So you want me to read something?
I would, but I want you to basically, there's two schools of thought that I've found on the internet after my lengthy sleuthing and remembering of reading liner notes and Wikipedia. I'm starting to think this is the Mandela effect. All right. Wikipedia, which I think got it from this article. It was a Music We Trust. There's in Music We Trust. Chris has said, and I quote, "Our drummer's parents had a bird, a big macaw parrot named Jake, that would squawk every time we practice. Eventually, our drummer's mother yelled at us to stop bothering the bird, so there you have it, we were less than Jake." The story I've heard is that it was a former dog. Can you please put this to rest?
To put it to rest, it was an English bulldog named Jake.
Okay.
It wasn't a bird, even though it has. People have asked about it, and I was like, I don't even know where you got the bird from.
Is he just starting to cut? I mean, it's a good little rumor to put out there to get people talking about your band, but.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I never knew that it came from Chris. It's funny.
He's quoted. I mean, it's from Billings, Montana, so I don't know how accurate it is, but it says Chris said this.
Yeah. You know what? At a certain point, and I was even guilty of it. There was obvious questions that a journalist just didn't stop to even look at, you know, where did the name come from? And, you know, where are you guys from again? Like, it literally would have taken, you know, 3 minutes to look on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So Chris did it a bunch. I did it some, where someone goes, where, you know, where'd you get the name? Okay. And then you launch into a story that's too insane and inane to anyone to believe, but there's people who believe it.
It's like your own version of the Aristocrats. And there you have it. And Dustin Jake.
It's great. Yes, it's an English bulldog.
Okay.
It's not a bird.
So you're telling people out there, do not trust Wikipedia.
Yeah. I made the mistake of looking at Wikipedia before and reading about Dustin Jake, and I was like, oh my God, this is, you know, there's that like glaring, obvious like point of like it not being right.
Yeah.
How come no one has fixed this? And then I feel weird about going into like be a revisionist of history, right? Like, okay, so I'm not going there either. Like, you know what? I just put in. I just brought up the thing that drives me the most crazy, and it is revisionist history, right?
Yeah.
There's that like sort of storyline, and then being able to have someone go back and like try to rework the storyline, like, oh, dude, you can't revise it. It just, these are the things that happen in those order. You can't go back and try to revise.
That's why I hate the internet. But I love you too. I love you too. Yeah, as I graduated with a history degree from an online school, but they were still very strict about fact checking, right? So, but I swear to God, I read it in like, it was like the Goodbye Blue and White liner notes. Some liner notes I read it that it was a dog named Jake, and then this whole lately has been driving me nuts. So thank you for setting this to rest and proving that I'm not that crazy. Let's see. Yeah. So do you mind reading an excerpt from your book?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I could do that. Just tell me when you're ready.
Yeah. Anytime you're ready.
6-7-19. The young and the standing. We like to stand around and smoke cigarettes. Poster boys and girls for the young and the apathetic. Brilliant minds put on hold to unravel emotions and beat back the tribal drums of growing up. We like to think that boredom was a placeholder, and the aggression of our elders desperately trying to push us into their not so bright future was just the phase that they were going through. If my mom was so unhappy, divorced, and working 60 hours a week, and his dad couldn't even take off work for his little brother's birthday party without getting fired, how were we, the young and the standing, supposed to be optimistic about moving into their future? We like to stand on the corner by the liquor store next to the train tracks, daydreaming about jumping the train and leaving forever, but always wind up talking more about all the parents we recognize coming and going from the liquor store. Brown bags to hide the labels, top of the bottles, the bright plastic screw caps peeping out of the top of the bag, a beacon into our futures of work, family, boredom, hoping to numb ourselves to sleep so we can get up and do it all over again. We hope to remain hopeless, dreamed of the dreary, shouted to the night in hope someone and anyone would hear it. Dear God, please kill us where we stand rather than living a life already planned. We don't need you to tell us to grow up when growing up is giving up, and giving up means we're already gone. Words echoed to no one and nowhere, standing still in a suburban purgatory. We were the young and the standing, counting out change for cigarettes, counting on change to get us out of this mess, not wanting to follow in their footsteps, refusing to believe that age meant we didn't know any better. We were the young with a death wish. Rather than accept this mess, we were left with a circle of smoke with good hair and t-shirts I'd killed to have today.
Amen. Very, very lyrical and poetic. I love it.
Yeah.
It's somebody with a short attention span like me that can't, it's still struggling with the Game of Thrones books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to read it. Would you recommend people read one a day, or do you care?
You know what? I don't care. I think that someone's going to kind of grab it, and there's going to be some people who devour it, and they'll be in that, that few hour time, and it'll be in, and then they'll be out. And then there'll be other people who kind of pour over it a little bit more and kind of read between the lines. And if you know the history and you know myself and you know the lyrics, you start to hear little things, you start to piece together a bigger puzzle, right? Mm-hmm. So you don't have to know all those things for it to be a book to read and enjoy. But if you do know those things, it starts to kind of fit in a puzzle that makes sense. And then when you read the novel, this is the warm-up of a much larger idea and story, but very similar in the description and the narrative and the feel, right?
Well, like I haven't read it, but your first book was a children's book, right?
Mm-hmm.
What
robots? Sometimes robots like being robots.
Yeah. So what it would actually, I do want to get it from my nephew's getting to be that age to where he can start appreciating it, but. Man, yeah, it's a nice progression from a children's book to short stories to the novel, and
yeah, the children's book again, very lyrical, because you have to have that sort of rhythmic thing to keep kids' attention bouncing along, right? And
all the best children's books are very poetic and lyrical.
And I started to last year feel I started to miss writing lyrics. Right? A lot. So I think the short story thing and how I did the timing and the soundtrack and all of that, I think that this was the answer. It's words without music, and that's in some ways how it's always been, right? And I'm a lyric person, so I always dive in to the lyrics of any band first, and if they move me, then it stays a part. And then other times I could listen to the music and enjoy the music, but then detach.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the one thing I don't like about digital music is missing the liner notes,
Yeah, I get that for sure. So you out of maybe, 5 people, you were the first one to hear anything out of that.
I can't wait to read it. I'm excited. I already got my pre-order in, and you said all of them are signed, correct?
All of them are signed. Yes.
Excellent, perfect. Yeah, I can't wait. So what about let's talk about before, because it looks like we got about I need 20 minutes till launch. I want to get into toys. Less Than Jake has always been about merchandise. I'm out of all the shows I've been to, I've never seen another band with a wider variety of merchandise, toys, knickknacks, and
you know what? There was always some of the bands that we would tour with. I would always do the walk by, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Silently judging.
There was a few bands though that I went, oh my God, there's so much merch. I can't even believe it. Dropkick Murphys was one of those bands where I walked by and went, this is a merch booth. Like, this is a merch booth. This is 50 shirts, a hockey jersey.
Yeah.
Hat. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But, I grew up liking Kiss, and it's directly correlated. Merchandise for Less Than Jake is directly correlated to my love of Kiss from age 7 to now.
It's amazing how just all the Pez stuff, the creation of the Evo Kid is part of what Less Than Jake is. I mean, it's the Mr. Skull, like it is.
It's definitely the visual of Less Than Jake is intertwined with the music of Less Than Jake.
Yeah.
And I think some people embrace it, and then other people are like, I can't back Less Than Jake. There's too much going on. Like
you're like a cartoon.
Yeah, it's like, no, I can't like Less Than Jake. There's way too much stuff going on. I don't know. I always like even now, I like the visual and I like the music and I like putting it together. And that's how my mind works. That's how I feel the most satiated when it comes to music. If there's a good visual and a good story and great music, I mean, what more can you ask for, right?
Yeah. Have you checked eBay recently for less than Jake items?
I check every once in a while, and then there's some things I'm like, wow, that's crazy amount of money. And then there's other things that I go, why is that $13? It should be, 4 times, 5 times the amount of that. But and it's usually vinyl.
Yeah,
Like, it's vinyl sort of ebbs and flows constantly, right? And it's directly correlated to the amount of, like, if someone sees something go for $50 and they have it and go, I would love to have that $50 thing.
Mm-hmm.
That $50 in my pocket. That's what they come in at, right? And then there's other people who go, I just want it out of my house. I really don't care about the collectability.
Yeah.
Like, my boyfriend left his, 37 inches at my house, and now I'm selling all of them. I don't care, and
Yeah.
put it as $10 or $13 or whatever it is, and they go away.
Well, the most expensive thing is a resin Evo Kid toy bundle. I think there's 5 of them for $450.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right? Would you put?
It sounds about right. Yeah. Not the most expensive 2 things that I've ever been a part of, but yeah.
One of the second most expensive thing is from Germany. It's 29 picture discs and promo 7 inches. That one looks pretty awesome. I might go on that one. But Germany, yeah. And then there's like a Funko the Glow Bone Daddy Pez Wacky Wobbler for $350.
Yeah, that's very rare.
Cheapest thing is In With the Outcrowd CD for 99 cents.
I'm not surprised.
There's an Anthem CD with no case for $1.95. But you can get a temporary tattoo for $3.
Weird.
So what are you doing with now? Paper and Plastic is a toy company and a record label. Is that correct?
Yeah, more so now a toy company, and I still put out records, but more so I put out a lot more toys than I do records. And before it would be the direct opposite, right? I'd put more music out and then put only a little bit of toys out. I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's what I'm inspired by and what comes along. And there's some very cool toys that are going to be coming out that are soft vinyl, Sofubi, and they'll be coming. And then project that I've had for a really long time called the Candyman. That'll be coming out of the shadows and kind of moving forward. Plus the skull resin and the monkey assassin resin, and go down the line. I have put out, I looked and counted, and it was in the over 400 variants of
the skull and monkey assassin, or just all toys? Wow. And you make a point to only do a limited number of them, right?
Yeah. And as I've been going and how things have been going, I've been slowly doing less, just because, if people are paying attention and they're collecting. I find that collectors are like, it's going up at 3. I'll be there at 3. I'm going to get it and bail. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do more that sort of hang around. I like to do toys, put them up, and they sell out and in a half hour or whatever it is. And then they go away, and then I can concentrate on doing something else. And if you go back to the 360, my being is starting something, and then it's the end of that something that I feel the great. So it's the same thing. Like it's designed for it to be complete.
So this is going along with that, just the completion of something. When you release an album, obviously there's all this fanfare, and you're trying to integrate the new songs with the old ones on tour. What about like re-releasing albums like B's for B-Sides and Anthem that's coming out later this summer? Is it the same feeling?
You know what? I didn't have anything to do with that, right? The repress, but prior records, you know, Hello Rock You and Losing Streak and all of that, right? Uh, I always feel good about it because there's collectors that don't have it and want it, but don't want to pay collectors' prices for it, right? And then there's, in other cases, like Anthem, it never had a 12-inch vinyl release. There was a picture disc, then there was a 7-inch set.
Yeah, yeah.
And then B is for B-side never was on vinyl at all. So to be able to bring that out and have collectors and people who love the music and love the records be able to have that and add it to their collection, it's always good by me. Always.
What was that, Buzz? Oh, he likes B is for B-sides. That's his favorite. That's his favorite one. To think that there was a chance that none of those songs could have ever gotten released, right?
It's true. We were, for the Anthem sessions of writing, where all of those songs originated from, right?
Yeah.
That was the most prolific that we were ever in writing music.
Yeah.
We'd get together, we would, you know, play through some tracks, you know, write some stuff in a thing, and then go to the dive bar down the road, talk about those songs, and have some, you know, have some beers and have some drinks, and then do it all over again. But that was also a proximity of most people living in town, you know, and then it was before that sort of like scatter.
Yeah.
And it was also before anyone had kids, because when you add that sort of extra person that you're taking care of, you have to start to rearrange when to practice and how to practice and do all those things.
Because those two albums, to me, it's just I can't believe all those songs were written at once, because they do sound like two completely different albums that were written apart.
And I think that, you know, as you were in the idea of the cream coming to the top, and then that's Anthem, songs that are a bit more complex, that we spent more time on, that obviously had a massive budget with a award-winning producer focusing on it. Yeah, this is it. The other ones were just songs that we felt really good about, but didn't make the record. For me, like a couple of my most favorite Less Than Jake lyrics are on B is for B-side. So I just kind of like, that's always, for me, again, go back to that thing that's always means a lot to me, that lyrical content. I mean, there's ones in there, man, that tug at my heartstrings, and that are my favorites, some of my favorites that I've written.
You guys did a very good job of that final song, because like National Anthem is probably my favorite song on B is for B-side. Faction on Borders and Boundaries, probably one of my favorite. It's hard to pick a favorite. I hate doing that, but you guys do a very good job of closing out those records to make you.
I mean, Owl's War on Hello Rock You. I mean, that to me wraps up that whole record, you know. And National Anthem, that means everything. Like if you're the lyrics mean everything to me as an adult, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Last Rites to Sleepless Nights mean everything to me as an adult, right? So that doesn't mean to say Escape from the A-Bomb House and Rest of My Life. Those lyrics every time would come, you know, we would play it, and it just would well up, you know. Brightest Bulb was burned out. Like that's one of the moments, and anytime that we would play it, that it would be a lightning bolt every time, just right there. And same goes for when we would play National Anthem. It was just a lightning bolt, just right through you. Right?
It's it should say, like, because I think recently, what was it, Ska Punk Daily? Did you see their viewer contest?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to feel good. I think you have 3 albums on the top lists. You came just second, I think, to Travis Barker, which is in itself is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, silly.
I think Chris got snubbed, but
no, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But, I don't know, man. Like
I know you've never been about the popularity contest of it, but
if we were, we probably would have been more successful and probably not a band,
yeah.
like for as long, right? Or
Yeah.
continuing to be, right? So I don't know, man. Like music is such a weird thing. And then when you add sort of the foundation of punk rock ethos,
Mhm.
it starts to get the gray area starts to get very weird, right? You
Yeah.
start to like think about it and being able to want more people to hear it and to sign to a major label, but at the same time trying to control aspects of it that you're okay with, right? And now with digital music, it becomes less of an issue, I think, and how people digest music is different, right?
Mhm.
I think people digest music now in this very small of, I'm going to listen to this song and that not, I'm going to listen to this full record, right? And there's always people who say, no, I want the full record. I want the full record. Well, guess what? Analytics tells you, no, you don't want the full record because you don't listen to the full record. Like you pull it out and you kind of go, look, you don't listen to the full record. You listen to 5 songs from the full record or 7 songs from the full record.
Yeah.
But just to say, like, Bruce Springsteen, if someone said, do you want a single of Bruce Springsteen or do you want a full record? Oh, give me a full record. But then follow-up question, do you listen to a full record?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Just give me the greatest hits album.
Exactly.
Let's see, I think. Good. Oh, do you collect vinyl?
I used to collect it much more than I do now. I used to be a very collecting person when it comes to toys and art and vinyl records. Now, not so much. Like I've been hyper focused for the last maybe 5 years about creating, not buying, not being part of that cycle. It's been very one-sided, right? Yeah. And it's weird because I had some health issues and some stuff, and then it programmed my brain into wanting to leave more and more and more. And I would think that if I sat down and talked to a therapist about it, they were like, "You're thinking about it all wrong." But I started to think to myself, I want to leave a creative legacy, right? And it drove the car for the last half decade.
Have you been doing a lot of art, music with your kid?
Yeah. And I've been doing a lot of art, been doing a lot of music. I've been doing a lot of creative stuff.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I promised myself last year, I was like, 2020 is the year that all the content, everything that I've been like sort of collecting, 2020 is the year it's coming, right?
Yeah.
And then pandemic. And then
you're putting the rest of us to shame, though. I mean, I think I've watched The Office 7 more times.
In the next like 3 to 5 weeks, you'll see lots of fun stuff.
That'll be perfect timing, and I will definitely make sure to link everything. And when this pandemic has subsided and people are allowed to go out and to stores and be in groups together, I would really like it if you'd think about maybe making a family trip to tour the country doing book signings. And
yeah, you know what, it sounds like it would be a blast, and we did, again, last year we did a lot of very cool traveling, including it was Vegas and Palm Springs, San Diego, Los Angeles. It was just fun, like family hang,
Yeah.
The thing for me, right, today, there's a can you see that? Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I just wanted to, it's getting to that time, so I just wanted to monitor.
It's getting there. The crazy thing for me, I think, on this day, right, we're SpaceX is supposed to launch, right? Hopefully, they're still set to launch, uh, and we're celebrating sort of that, to go back to space, and a pandemic, was raging and now is receding a little bit in spots. Uh, you know, Times like this are supposed to bring humanity and the idea of humanity together, but now, there's been riots, not to touch on things and get heavy, right? But like today also, and the last 4 or 5 days, it's been a lot of riots in cities,
Yeah.
Minnesota, Detroit. Even Gainesville today had a march, right?
Yeah.
And I never in my life as a human, I never understood why we keep on separating ourselves uh, and letting people that are divisive separate.
Yeah.
When it's all just humanity, and we should be celebrating that humanity, right?
Yeah.
It's just very weird to me, man. And that spike of hatred and that spike of wanting to be divided, and that class war that feels imminent, where the rich are being, the rich are being ultra wealthy, and then the middle class and the poor are getting poorer. It's wild, man. And celebrating, going into space and celebrating victories and being alive and being healthy. But there's people out there that are would rather see things burn than built.
Yeah.
It's wild. And the only reason why I bring it up is because I'm staring, for people who don't know, I'm staring at the launch sequence on YouTube. They're sharing it with me, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is crazy. It should be a beautiful moment, man. And being here and being happy and being healthy in the last 2 months have been fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
Never in my life would I think that we'd be living through a shutdown of the entire country.
We're the world.
Yeah, the world actually too. It's crazy.
Yeah, most of my clients for writing resumes are based in outside the U.S. So it really shut down there for like that part of my income was shut down for a little bit, which was kind of nice, to be honest. But it's once you see it start picking up, I mean, it means people are getting jobs and going back to work again. It's a nice. So the rest of the world is starting to open up. It's just hopefully it's.
My wife went back to work like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, wow. Oh yeah, because Florida's pretty open, huh?
Yeah, dude. The tattoo shop opened this past week. So how's business been since reopening? Brisk. Really?
Oh, good.
The thing that's crazy for me is just that you have to think about best practices for everyone's safety, the client and the artist. And man, it just, you start to kind of put it in there. Then there's provocateurs out there that are, I'm not wearing a mask. A mask are bullshit. Go, dude, you know what? Okay, cool. That's how many people do you come in contact with in a day?
Yeah.
Like, okay, 12. Okay, cool. So that's 12. Those guys come into contact with another 10. So they come in contact with 120 different people now, right? Besides whatever other daily life shit they have going on, go get a burger, go wait in line for whatever, right? So it makes me laugh when people are out there. It's, my body, my right to not wear a mask, but my body and my right, they don't believe into if it's like, if you want.
It's so weird. It's like, I don't get that mentality where it's like you feel so oppressed to have to put this piece of cloth over your face for, I mean, a tattoo, what, a couple hours maybe tops?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, and it's all for
you're fighting the wrong battle, man.
it's tough because uh, even, let's go talk about live music real quick, right? Like I for the life of me have talked to, different friends that work for Live Nation and different things. They all tell me the same thing. They're like, it's going to be weird coming back, man. Like, uh, there's a lot of things that have to get decided on, but no one's really deciding on them yet.
But tattoo parlors, though, you're probably in a pretty unique situation because they're already pretty sanitary. I mean, our artists already wear gloves and use a lot of alcohol.
Oh yeah, dude. As far as safety and health focused business, I mean, tattoo shop is up there.
Yeah.
Some of those things, the best practices, I mean, they're on par with a doctor's office. So
yeah, absolutely.
So you got to do that.
It's like a tattoo is like a reverse elective surgery.
It truly is. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Do you spend a lot of time at the shop? Are you pretty hands on?
Yeah. I mean, before the pandemic, I was there, 3 to 4 days a week, and go in there and do all the social media and email and things like that, and like the background. And my partner in the shop is one of the artists, so it's always good. Like he's the person, Eric, that is in my like crazy triangle of, hey, we should try this. Hey, we should make this merch. We should do this.
Yeah.
Like the outlet of things, the creative outlet of merch doesn't stop. It continues to ebb and flow, out of the world of Less Than Jake into the world of, 4 or 5 other things. So that's cool to me, that to be able to still continue the same arc, creative art, and bring it to other places, which is good.
Oh, absolutely. If there's one thing, I mean, people can try and explain how to solve racial inequality and all this, but art it's just there,
Yeah,
it's healing and it's there.
There's points, it's crazy because, I've said it before and I'll say it the same way. It's that I always thought of full-length records as like a snapshot to who the band was at the time, right? And sometimes people want to trap bands in this moment in time, right? But bands move on and people move on and all those things happen, right?
Yeah.
But art is one of those things, man. It's like, it's the same idea. Here's the artist at this age, right? And no one says, oh, you shouldn't use more color. You shouldn't do these things. They let artists be artists, man. Yeah. And like, it's okay if they move style and are fluid in how they create, but it's just musicians that a lot of people just want to keep in that like box forever, frozen in time to be the same. It can't be the same, man. Like there's different experience that happen and different things to spark inspiration and creativity. Like just because you're a band or a graffiti artist or a graphic artist or a writer or whatever it is, it's not the same inspiration every time. It's not the spark of creativity that's the same every time. It continually pivots and continually randomly things happen and spark that creativity. It's cool.
It's such a dichotomy because that attitude of one, because I mean, I've wanted you to play songs off Pezcore for years and never got to hear them. But it's only because when I listen to them, it's just those positive emotions that I felt when I initially that initially like penetrated my being, like I wanted that back.
It's funny because as a band, you want to stoke people out, right?
Yeah.
And then, you learn these songs, and not saying that it is always like that, but in the past, there's been instances of a surprise. You play the song, the crowd goes fucking insane. You go, why haven't we been playing this song? This is crazy, right? And there's some cases that you think a song is a shoo-in, man, for people to love live. And you go out there and play it, and it just doesn't connect, man. It just feels like, 3-minute song feels like you're there for 30 minutes. Like, can't this be over with already? Please, someone make it over. It was crazy, man.
That's the thing, though. When you're in the audience, I mean, obviously, I can't speak for everyone that goes to concerts, but like from when you're in that position, I don't think you're ever thinking about like the musician, like, oh no, I missed that beat. Oh shit, I missed that note. You know, you're never thinking about that part of it. It's just the stuff that's coming from the PA and the actions on stage is what.
Yeah, I mean, so we had gone on tour with 4 Years Strong, right? And I don't think we wound up on the West Coast on that tour. I can't remember. It was a while ago, 3 years ago, I think, right? On the second day of that tour, so we played one show, had a day off, played Jacksonville, and then started being on tour. On that day off, I took my daughter to a park for a Girl Scout badge, and I twisted my ankle. It like slid off the side, and so I basically broke 2 bones in my foot, and I hurt like some of the tendons around my foot, right? And dude, I went on tour, and it was the most like drastic thing, like crazy. Like my foot would turn like bright purple during the set and swell because all the blood sort of rushing to it, right? But I hyper focused on like, I had to ditch that kick drum, or I had to ditch this because of the injury. And you think that people are, you think to yourself, people know, everything. And it's nerve wracking, man. Like that it was maybe 9 months of touring that my like foot was just whacked out, that it just hyper focused on not the show, but like trying to make your like appendage work. Yeah. Wild.
Talk about a 3-minute song lasting 3 hours.
Talk about an hour and 20-minute set lasting for fucking a day.
We apologize for that technical difficulty. We hope to get Vinny back. Thank you again for watching. Again, we appreciate you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, join us on social media, and we appreciate any support on Patreon. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you in the next video. Now get back to work.